At 2:17 a.m., a woman walked into a police station barefoot. Her clothes were clean. Her hands were steady. Her eyes were empty. She said one sentence. "I killed my husband 3 days ago. He's been dead longer than that." Then she sat down and waited. What the police discovered next would turn this quiet confession into one of the most disturbing mysteries the town had ever known. The town of Graybridge was small, isolated, and proud of its calm. No murders in over 20 years, no missing persons, no secrets, at least none spoken aloud. Daniel and Mira Collins moved there 8 years ago. Daniel was a high school history teacher, quiet, predictable. Mira worked from home as a freelance translator, rarely seen. Neighbors described them as normal in the most forgettable way. No fights, no parties, no visitors. The only strange detail was their routine. Every night at exactly 9:30 p.m., Daniel's study light turned on. Every night at exactly 1 a.m., it turned off. No exceptions. Day 1. Monday. Daniel Collins failed to show up for work. This was unusual but not alarming. He had taken sick days before. The school tried calling him. No answer. Day 2. Tuesday. Daniel still didn't appear. A welfare check was requested, but no officer was available. Graybridge was understaffed. Nothing urgent yet. That same night, neighbors saw the study light turn on at 9:30 p.m., just like always. Day 3. Wednesday. The school principal drove to the Collins house. No response at the door, no noise inside, but the house looked lived in. Lights worked, no broken windows. Again that night, the study light turned on. Day 4. Thursday, 2:17 a.m. Mira Collins walked into the police station, barefoot, calm, and confessed to murder. Police went to the Collins house immediately. Daniel's body was found in the study. He was seated at his desk, dressed neatly, no visible injuries. The medical examiner froze when he checked the body temperature. Daniel had been dead for at least 10 days. That made Mira's confession impossible. She claimed she killed him 3 days ago. But decomposition, blood pooling, and tissue breakdown said otherwise. Something didn't add up. Mira did not ask for a lawyer. She spoke slowly, clearly. She said Daniel had changed. 10 days ago, he started staying in the study all night, talking to someone who wasn't there, writing pages and pages of notes. She said she could hear him whispering, not arguing, not angry, teaching. When police asked who he was teaching, Mira paused. Then she said, "Himself." Inside the study, police found 12 notebooks, each one dated, each one written in Daniel's handwriting. But the content was strange. The pages were filled with lessons, questions, answers. It looked like a teacher explaining ideas to a student, but the student was also Daniel. Some entries were written in first person. Others responded in second person, almost like two voices sharing one pen. The last entry ended mid-sentence. "If I stop writing, he will take over completely." Theory 1. Mental illness. The simplest explanation was psychosis. Daniel may have suffered a mental breakdown. He isolated himself, created an alternate personality, died naturally or by suicide. Mira, overwhelmed, lost track of time. But this theory failed one detail: the study light. Someone turned it on every night after Daniel was already dead. Theory 2. Mira lied. Maybe Mira killed Daniel 10 days ago. Maybe she staged the confession later. But forensic tests showed no signs of struggle, no poison, no trauma. And Mira had no motive, no financial gain, no history of violence. Theory 3. An outside intruder. Someone else used the study. Someone else turned on the light. But no footprints, no fingerprints, no forced entry. And the security camera across the street showed nothing. No one entered or left the house at night. A junior officer noticed something small: the study light switch. It was broken. It could not be turned on manually. It was connected to a timer, set years ago, always at 9:30 p.m., always off at 1 a.m. The light turning on meant nothing, but the light turning off did. because the power usage inside the study dropped sharply after midnight. Except for one thing: the desk lamp. Someone was using it. The autopsy revealed the truth. Daniel Collins did not die 10 days ago. He died 14 days ago. The body had been preserved, carefully, deliberately. Someone cleaned him daily, changed his clothes, seated him at the desk. Someone kept the illusion alive. That someone was Mira, but not for the reason police expected. Mira finally broke down. She explained everything. Daniel had been researching a concept for years, a theory about consciousness, about splitting awareness through repetition, teaching the mind to observe itself until one side dominates. He believed he could become something cleaner. He warned Mira that if it worked, she must not interrupt. 14 days ago, Daniel collapsed while writing. He was dead. But Mira believed the other him was still learning, still inside the study, still finishing the lesson. So she followed the routine. She turned on the desk lamp. She read his notes out loud. She answered questions written on paper. She pretended Daniel was still there. Because stopping meant admitting he was gone. Mira confessed not because she killed Daniel. She confessed because she couldn't continue the lesson. She said the notebooks had started changing. New handwriting appeared, sentences she didn't write. The last line she found before going to the police said, "The student no longer needs the teacher." Daniel Collins was declared dead. Mira was sent for psychiatric treatment. The notebooks were sealed as evidence. The house was sold. But years later, the new owners reported something strange. Every night at exactly 9:30 p.m., the study desk lamp turns on. And at 1 a.m. it turns off. No timer, no wiring, just routine. As if someone is still learning, still teaching, still watching.